Hello and welcome. Hey, if you're a caregiver, this explainer is for you. We're going to get into a topic that's, well, it's sensitive, but it's also incredibly important. Compassion fatigue. It's that deep, draining feeling that can sneak up on you when you're taking care of someone you love. So let's unpack what it is and, more importantly, what you can actually do about it. Does this one hit home? That feeling of being completely drained, emotionally just numb, or even, and this is a tough one to admit, secretly resentful toward the person you're caring for. Listen, it's a hard thing to say out loud, but you are absolutely not alone in feeling this way. And let's be crystal clear about something. If this sounds familiar, it does not mean you're a bad caregiver. It just means you're a human being, and your tank is completely empty. This is a normal response to long-term stress, not some kind of personal failure. So, to really wrap our heads around what's going on here, we have to look at what experts call the cost of caring. Let's get a really clear definition of what we're talking about. So, compassion fatigue, it's a state of physical and emotional exhaustion. And it's caused by the nonstop stress of helping someone who's suffering. Sometimes it's called secondary traumatic stress. And that phrase is so powerful. It means you're not just a witness to the suffering, you're kind of absorbing some of that trauma yourself. And over time, that can really wear down your ability to feel empathy. Now, you might be thinking, hang on, isn't this just burnout? And yeah, the symptoms feel super similar, but there's a really crucial difference, and understanding it can help you figure out what's really going on. Okay, so the key difference here really comes down to the timeline and where it's coming from. Burnout, that's usually a slow grind. It builds up over a long time from just general stress. But compassion fatigue, that can hit you much, much faster. It comes directly from being exposed to someone else's trauma. With compassion fatigue, you might still have the desire to help, but you just feel completely overwhelmed, like you're emotionally tapped out. So, how do you spot the signs in yourself? Really recognizing these warning symptoms is the first and honestly the most important step to getting back on solid ground. As we go through these common symptoms, I just want you to ask yourself and be honest. Do any of these feelings ring a bell? Of course, there's that deep physical and emotional exhaustion. But look at the other stuff too. That feeling of your empathy just fading, or, dreading the act of caregiving and then feeling super guilty about feeling that way. You might notice you're more irritable or anxious, and you start pulling away from people. And it can even show up physically, right? Headaches, trouble sleeping, or even mentally, where it's hard to make even simple decisions. It's like this constant low-level cloud hanging over you. Okay, so we've defined it, we've spotted the signs. Now for the most important part. What on earth can we do about it? We're going to walk through 8 very real, very concrete ways to cope. Think of this as your personal toolkit for self-preservation. The very first tool is just simple awareness. You've got to become a really keen observer of what's going on inside. Check in with yourself regularly. Notice how your stress levels are changing day to day. And a super practical way to do this is with a simple 1 to 10 scale, where 1 is I'm feeling great, and 10 is my symptoms are so bad my health is at risk. If you just jot down your number and a couple of feelings each day, you can start to see a negative trend before you hit a total crisis point. This leads us right to tip number 2, which is all about a huge mindset shift. I love this quote. Taking care of yourself isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. It can feel so selfish, I know. But it is truly the single most important thing you can do to be a better, more present caregiver for the long haul. So what does that look like? It means prioritizing the basics, regular exercise, a healthy diet, and doing whatever it takes to get quality sleep. It also means taking daily breaks, seriously, even just 10 minutes to yourself, and looking into things like respite care to get professional help so you can have a real break. Caregiving can be so incredibly isolating, so our next few tips are all about breaking that cycle. It is so important to remember. You are not alone in this. So, tip number 3, actively make time for your friends. Chat, share a meal, just be with people outside of your caregiving role. It's essential. And tip 4, join a support group. Whether it's online or in person, there is just this incredible power in talking to people who truly get what you're going through. A caregiver named Yvonne described this feeling so perfectly. She called it a kind of tired that does not go away after a good nap. And anyone in a support group will hear that and just nod. They get it. Okay, now let's look at some personal strategies for reconnecting with you. Tip 5 is journaling. It's such a great way to get all those swirling thoughts out of your head. Tip 6 is all about consciously choosing positive ways to cope. And tip 7, make time for your hobbies, the things you used to love doing just for the fun of it. And this comparison is just fantastic. Because after a really tough day, it is so easy to fall into that first column, right? Mindless TV, a bottle of wine, just bottling everything up. But those things don't actually restore you. The try this column, though, that's where the magic is. A short walk, some deep breathing, calling a friend, or even just watching a funny video clip online can genuinely refill your tank. And finally, tip number 8. If you find yourself consistently rating high on that 1 to 10 scale, please speak with a counselor or a therapist. They are trained professionals who can give you practical tools for these unique challenges. There is absolutely no shame in asking for help. So let's end with this. Your well-being, it's not an optional add-on. It's not something you get to if you have time. It is the absolute foundation of your ability to care for someone else. Period. Which leaves us with just one final thought. Forget about tomorrow or next week for a second. What is one small act of self-care you will do for yourself today? It could be a 10-minute walk, a phone call to a friend, even just 5 deep breaths. Whatever it is, please know that you've earned it. Thank you for taking this time for yourself.